The road to Chogm takes us to the historic Nelson's Dockyard, the World Heritage Site here in English Harbour. And this is one of the locations that will feature prominently as Antigua Barbuda hosts the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting this November. This will be the site of the closing reception on the 4th of November. So, how are preparations going? Take a look.
Welcome to Copper and Lumber Minister. We'll be meeting with one of the National Parks representatives who will give us a tour. But just to speak to you a bit about the program for Chogm, this is the venue that has been earmarked for the closing ceremony. Now, the closing ceremony is expected to attract roughly 2,000 individuals, and they'll be spread out across the lawn area. Of course, these rooms have been allocated for ministerial lounges and, of course, VIP spaces. A stage should be erected now. As you can see, there's some work being undertaken, resurfacing. Desley will speak a little bit more to that in terms of what happens annually. From the venue management perspective, what I can say is that the operations are in full effect. Now, what we look at is the security. So this is indeed a secure venue. We do have medical personnel. Our catering is already underway. Our programs and events, and of course the ICTs to be able to keep our guests connected as they are here. So from the operational side of things, the task force is well underway.
Great. Well, you know, it's always a pleasure to host events in this historic area. I know Desley and Anne-Marie and the team have been going at it. To see the work this morning certainly is a clear indication of where we are and an appreciation for what needs to be done to complete and to close the cycle or circle. So again, I want to thank you and the venue management team for the work you've been doing in curating, cultivating, preparing. This gives assurance to Antigua Barbuda that we are definitely on our way to hosting Chogm. Once we have done our work, it is for the rest of the world to come and enjoy the work we've done. So again, I thank you on behalf of the Prime Minister, the Cabinet, and the whole nation for that matter, for the work you're doing, because this is truly national service. I feel a sense of satisfaction seeing the advancement, or the advances rather, that we have made over the last few months since we put together a task force and have put together the mission. Hosting 200 guests?
2,000.
I want to make sure you get it right. Hosting 2,000 guests in this space, it is something that will make for quite a scene. And I know that the country as a whole, not to mention national parks, our hosts, will be giving it the very best.
Welcome to the Nelson's Dockyard National Park, or should I say welcome home?
Welcome home. That's a good one.
Yeah, so this is our event space. It's summertime, so you know we're always renovating and operating on our buildings. Yes, this is a quiet time. Usually we have a yacht or 16, but today we're actually doing some uprooting in front of Copper and Lumber store. We're doing some resurfacing to the event layout space, and we're also doing additional work on the officers' quarters, where we're repairing the floor inside the event center, which will be used as auxiliary rooms for the meetings, and as well as doing some resurfacing on the side of the building as well. So work is on the way to make sure the venue is on tip-top shape for this very international affair with our Commonwealth brothers and sisters.
As you always do here.
Yes. I mean,
I must give you credit. There's not a moment that this place is not under some kind of active renovation, upgrade.
Upkeep. Yeah.
And, as you host events, you can see the effort made to modernize and to offer to your clients the very best experience possible.
Yeah.
So to you and Marie, I said it before, I said it again, now I'm talking to you. To you and Marie, the team here,
Yes.
I'm just so proud of you in terms of how you maintain this one. How old is this property now?
Over 300 years
300
now.
year property. It might be the only property in Antigua this old that is kept in this condition. I was mentioning earlier that I will seek the government's, the cabinet's permission to expand the remit of national parks with respect to restoration and preservation of other fortifications and other sites in this country that can bring value to our tourism product, joy and pride to our people, the way you've kept this one.
Yeah.
So as we host the Commonwealth in November, over 2,000 guests expect to alight on this particular location or venue. I must commend you for the work you've done, because had you not done the work before, this venue would not have even been a consideration. It's because of the attraction you've created in the maintenance of this venue that we gave consideration to this place for the hosting of the level of dignitaries and the number of persons that we have here in November. So more work. The reward for good work is more work.
Yes.
So be prepared for more work, my darling.
Yeah, thank you. We definitely appreciate it. We want to also extend our appreciation and gratitude to the community members who are a key part of the maintenance of these structures, from the vanishers to the carpenters, the stonemasons, everyone that comes out in the summer and in the season to support the works. As you said, we've maintained these structures for 300 years, but it's from the descendants of the persons who started this space that we're seeing the fruits of our labor, and we can celebrate this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yeah.
It is incredible. It is really incredible to see the maintenance, the level of preservation work. And, it makes you proud of the Antiguan.
Yes.
And to showcase this to the Commonwealth is indeed a proud moment for all of us Antiguans. And I will not spare time in telling, or waste time in telling anybody who's responsible. It is you, Anne-Marie, the craftsmen, the people of this community guard this place as precious, as sacred.
Because we're here at the roundabout, this is also a great drop-off point. So we'll have persons coming in at different shuttles, coming around the sundial, and then entering the event space right here at the side of the Yacht Services office. So they'll enter the venue from here, and they'll of course get the entrance of the harbor as soon as they arrive, which is beautiful. But then they can also look up into the hills, see Shirley Heights, Dow's Hill, Clarence House. So they're really getting a touch of the entire national park once they enter in here. So, I mean, they're spoiled for choice in this area, because every view is just amazing.
No, we are at Global Center Stage, and I really must commend the national energy and efforts, national parks and the events and venue committee put together, security tapestry. This is a whole national, all of country arrangement coming together to make Chogm possible. And by the time we complete the exercise, I don't think we're talking about a possible Chogm, we're talking about successful Chogm.
Yes.
I commit you and charge you, like I charge all of us, to join in the mission of making this the most memorable, most successful Chogm ever.
Yes.
That's our mission as a country. On board?
Yes, we accept it wholeheartedly.
As our team left picturesque Nelson's Dockyard, it was on to another venue which will host the plethora of events during the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in November. The Eustace Hill campus, formerly the Antigua and Barbuda International Institute of Technology, ABIT, one of the campuses now under the umbrella of the Antigua and Barbuda College of Advanced Studies, ABCAS.
Ladies, good morning.
Good morning, Minister Green.
Lady Green, how are you?
Welcome to ABCAS.
We again met up with Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable E.P. Chet Green, whose ministry is leading the national preparations as well as Jamaica Carbon, who is the events lead on the National Task Force. They were greeted by ABCAS President Dr. Ezra Jonah Green.
But I hope what we've provided today would bring you some sort of satisfaction and comfort to the work that has been undertaken by the task force to have this venue ready for 2 of the major side events.
All right, thank you for the brief, and thank you, Dr. Green, for so willingly, readily agreeing to host these 2 side events during Chogm. I am pretty familiar with this place, and its upkeep is certainly what I want to commend you on. That the fence was coming in to do a further facelift ahead of Chogm is only a further benefit to what the government sets out to do in terms of maintaining public property, public buildings, and where education is concerned, I don't think the investment we're making is anything but necessary. As we go on the final stretch to host in Chogm, it's important that what we're doing this morning is done. There's a review of all the installations and facilities identified for the purpose of hosting. And like I said, I know this place, I know the capacity, I know the capabilities, and I will repose all my confidence in you hosting us. It's about projecting Antigua Barbuda to the world and giving our very best as we host these side events and the main event for Chogm. It's the single largest event to ever come to our country, and people must leave here wanting more. More of Antigua Barbuda, more of ABCAS, more of this center, more of the Nelson Dockyard, more of the AUA facilities. That's all of us. So we, the same way we just mentioned a while ago that we can't tour this facility this morning in detail because of the high demand. We want at the end of Chogm for our country to be a high demand country. So in your hands I place this responsibility.
Wow, definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Minister Green. Thank you as well for actually putting confidence in ABCAS and looking at the facilities that we have with a view to it being utilized for such an important event. An event such as Chogm as a national Commonwealth event is very important for ABCAS as well, in that we want to also showcase to our students events like those so that they understand the value of nationalism, the value of what Antigua is all about, what we have to offer as a nation, and how each individual can make a commitment or can support events like those. As you would have reached out to us with regards to the use of the facilities, we have been looking at our facilities with a view to utilizing them more with events such as those. Our lecture hall, is something that we would like you to utilize. And like you said, you're going to be utilizing our 10 classrooms downstairs, our student lounge. We also have the cafeteria area that you would be utilizing, our backup. We have backup generator services as well that would help to support an event like that. I'm also looking for opportunities to also do the upgrades. I have to mention those things, Minister Green, the upgrades that, the minor upgrades that would be required to get the facility at a place where our overseas delegates, as they come in, they can see education in Antigua and Barbuda as being a place to be a priority for the government of Antigua and Barbuda. I know you have education as a priority, and the fact that you want to utilize this space for such an important event, I think it's something that all of us at ABCAS, we are very, very happy about. And I want to encourage all of our students that as you come and you utilize the space, find out more about Chogm, what it is all about, what it means for Antigua and Barbuda, the implications for the individual student, and how them, as future citizens of Antigua and Barbuda, can utilize those experiences, even though from afar, for what is to come in Antigua and Barbuda. So thank you very much. Thank you for thinking about us. Thank you for utilizing our facilities. And we pledge to do everything in our power to support you, as we have already done in the past, and to continue to work in the best interest of Antigua and Barbuda.
From the Eustace Hill campus, it was on to another educational institution where consequential discussions will take place during Chogm 2026, the American University of Antigua, AUA. This cavernous conference center is silent now, but it will be a hive of activity in November. I wanted an overall picture of the preparation of all the venues that will be used for Chogm and its many side forums and events. Who better to speak with than the venue's lead, Jamaica Carbon? Ms. Carbon has been touring with us in terms of looking at the venues, some of the venues that will be used for Chogm 2026. And as you can imagine, the hive of excitement, the buzz of activity continues to build as the momentum continues to build towards Chogm 2026. Ms. Carbon, thank you so much for joining us right here on the road to Chogm.
Thank you, Mr. Rufford.
Absolutely. So we've been to 3 locations. This is our 3rd location so far for this particular edition of the road to Chogm. The copper and lumber, let's talk about that first. What will that be used for?
So the copper and lumber would be used for the closing ceremony. It is anticipated that we should have around 2,000 participants. I would consider that to be a small number because of what it has hosted before, Reggae in the Park. Copper and lumber, they're currently undergoing the annual resurfacing of the outdoor area. And of course, they're undertaking some cleaning and constructions and retrofittings of the building, not only just for Chogm, but for overall in anticipation of the new tourism season or the upcoming tourism season.
Excellent. So that's copper and lumber. That's on the 4th of November, the
yes,
closing
the 4th
reception.
of November, yes.
Good. Then we went to the one of the campuses of the Antigua Barbuda College of Advanced Studies, or ABCAS. That's a Eustace Hill campus, formerly ABIT, formerly the Antigua Barbuda Institute, International Institute of Technology. What would that be used for?
So we have 4 side events planned for Chogm 2026, and 2 of the side events should be hosted there on the 2nd and the 3rd of November. So that should be also hosting a cocktail and an exhibition, and quite suitably so.
Very good. Excellent. Can you say at this point which of the 2 side events will be hosted there, or not yet?
For now, I would not want to say at this time. We want to give it some more time because there's still some program finalization that is taking place. So until we finalize those programs, but definitely it has been an earmarked space that will be utilized for side events.
Excellent. So we're now here at the American University of Antigua AUA. We're in the conference room, the same conference room which hosted SIDS and the 2 consecutive years Caribbean Travel Marketplace, plus the OAS General Assembly. It will play a crucial role in Chogm as well. What will be hosted here?
Okay, so within this room that we're now seated, the ministerial meetings would be hosted in this particular room, as well as other rooms on the campus and other blocks would host, for example, 2 of the forums, that being the Women's Forum and the People's Forum would also be held at this venue. Of course, quite a bit of receptions that are being planned will also be held here. There are bilateral rooms because, of course, you know, we're looking at 56 member countries who would be potentially be attending and will be attending Chogm. So, of course, they would use that as an opportunity to engage in bilateral discussions on a wide range of areas and even corporations. So we're hoping that even out of some of these meetings that we have some MOUs among our Commonwealth countries. So we're trying our best to ensure that the space, and as I said earlier, it's not about just having a space, but ensuring that the space is suited for purpose. So in that regard, we want to ensure that the facility is well planned out in terms of creating a flow for traffic, for catering, of course, you know, for the medics, you know, any of the needs, anything that would bring about an experience that would more or less leave a lasting experience, you know, that is all part of the venue planning that we are looking at, whether it be from signage, which is visual, and of course, you know, our DLOs or accreditation, all of it. We want to have everything working operationally, so there's a seamless flow, you know, going to enter in the premises, during the meetings, post the meetings. We just want to make sure that everything works together seamlessly in that operational ecosystem.
Excellent. So we're talking about 3 venues so far, but I take it that more venues will be used.
Yes, definitely.
In all, how many venues will be engaged?
We're looking at roughly 16 venues roughly and 36 spaces that we would have to attend to. So, you know...
Just say it again for me. 16 venues.
16 venues.
And 36 spaces.
36 spaces, and that is just for now, that we would really have to, you know, have prepared for that particular program. So, Depending on the nature of your program, we'd have to have the room fitted for that, whether it be in the area of sound, whether it be in the area of connectivity, establishing our various venue operations centers across each venue.
Just give me an idea, what are the other venues? So as I said, 3, so what are the other 13 venues?
Okay.
I mean, not to list out all of them, but some of the other 13 venues.
So we're looking at the SJPC, the St. John's Pentecostal Church. We're looking at the Sticky Wicket Antigua. We're looking at Jumbi Bay Island. We're looking at quite a bit of the hotels around the island that will host some of the events. There is also the Johnny St. Louis Conference Center. There is the UE 5 Islands campus. Just to name a few, but
Yes.
there are quite a bit of them that are really, really under consideration.
Excellent.
Yes.
How satisfied are you, how comfortable are you at this point, run about the 3rd week of August, that things are on track for completion by Chogm?
I am very, very comfortable. But it's actually you experiencing it and actually seeing the work that is being undertaken, the coordination that is taking place across the different pillars that would allow for the venue to be ready, to be in the state of readiness. Again, not just public works painting or some other private company being contracted to have a physical venue, or not just the media team having signage, but to know that they have been checked out security-wise to ensure that we have our central board of health on board to ensure that the premises remain clean. Everything that would really go into creating that sort of impact that would give us the spin-off effects that we're looking for from hosting global conferences.
A final question on this, Ms. Carmen. In terms of making this Chogm a uniquely Antiguan experience, so that we're having delegations from all over the Commonwealth, countries representing 2.7 billion people around the world, talking about India, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, etc. How do we make sure that they leave with that lasting experience of Antigua? Brand Antigua is projected quite significant and prominently on the global stage. How are you making sure that that is in place for these events?
For me, for us actually, it's more about the experience. So we want to know that, we know the impact that word of mouth has. And so, of course, yes, we'll have the branding, we'll be using the unique names and, of course, the cuisine. So, the cuisine, the experience, the kind of cultural presentations, of course, that would be delivered during the various events should also be used to leave a lasting impact. And of course, the most important thing, our people. So of course, our people, quite a bit of extensive training is being taken place. What I can say about Antigua, you're born into tourism. So you're born being hospitable. You always hear that Antiguans are very hospitable people because it is embedded in our psyche that tourism is our main industry. And now, so our people, of course, would definitely be making a lasting impact in terms of the Antiguan experience overall. So it is very much in line with our government's mandate to diversify into conference tourism, and I think that the government, based on my interaction, has the buy-in of the people, so I'm very confident that they will leave here with an impact of Antigua and Barbuda. And we've been teaching them a slang as they came for their earlier visits. We tell them walk good.
So people are buying into that.
We teach them walk good because it's an old slang that your grandmother would say when you're leaving, and want to make sure that you'll be safe. So we tell them walk good.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure that they will buy into that as well. Ms. Carmen, thank you so much, really appreciate it. We know that this is highly immersive, this is intensive, this is quite epoch-making, and we certainly wish you all the best with this endeavor. We know that it is a very, very difficult task, but you're up to it. We see that you're up to it. We literally, our crew has seen it so far on this particular edition of the Road to Chogm. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burford.
Really appreciate it.
Okay.
And all the very best.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's Ms. Jamaica Carbon, who is the venues lead for Chogm, Antigua Barbuda's historic hosting of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. 16 venues, 36 spaces will be utilized across the country. It will be whirlwind, it will be breathtaking, but it's also breathless in terms of the preparations. When we come back, we'll hear from the minister who is leading this effort, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Immigration, Honorable E.P. Chet Green. We'll also get an update from him about one of the other venues, which is soon to become the National Performing Arts Center. It is now being repurposed from what had formerly been the old Deluxe Cinema. Who is that going? We'll hear from Minister next. Stay with us. All right, so the road to Chogm continues. We're still here at the American University of Antigua, the AUA, one of the venues that will be used to host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting from November 1 to 4. And speaking with us now on the special edition of the road to Chogm is the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Immigration, Honorable E.P. Green, whose ministry is leading the efforts to organize and to plan for Chogm 2026. We are now just about 75 days away. Actually 74 days now as this program is coming to you, and it means that there is a frenzied, frenetic period of activity as the country prepares for this historic hosting of Chogm 2026. Minister, thank you so much for joining us right here on the road to Chogm. So you've been to 3 venues today for this particular edition. You've been to Copper and Lumber, you've been to one of the campuses of ABCAS, that's the USS Hill campus, now at AUA. Satisfied so far with what you've seen?
Satisfied, and let me first begin by thanking the team for the work that's been put in so far. And overall to the task force for continuing on a daily basis to keep the Chogm mission, on course, and certainly we ramp up 75 days today before we host the world, and I'm feeling good. I think we're in a good place. The issues that we settled are issues that are manageable, and so I want to give confidence to the nation that we are on course to hosting Chogm. And of course, to implore the nation with respect to the all-of-country arrangement that we seek to present to the world. I had the opportunity yesterday meeting with the leader opposition. I met with and spoke with the MP for Barbuda and Senator Beasley on Barbuda, because the Chogm is also going on Barbuda. And the consensus is that this is an all-of-country arrangement. So I hope that not seeing the typical political kinks, red and blue, foolishness in the way, but rather a demonstration to the world that we are people who understand time and occasion.
Good. You mentioned Barbuda as well. So we spoke with Ms. Carbon, Jamaica Carbon, who is the venues lead. She mentioned 16 venues and about 36 spaces. Will any of those be in Barbuda as well?
Well, Barbuda, yes. We have official visit planned for Barbuda. And once in Barbuda, there will be activities taking place there. I hope to visit Barbuda next week for a review of the Barbuda scenarios, just like we've done today in 3 different venues. The planning of this meeting is, again, one I must give the full marks, to full credit. We saw the Delcy Dockyard this morning, Copper and Lumber, which will be the venue for the closing activity, some 2,000 guests. And we saw and we heard from the persons on the ground, Delcy, who is the lead there, just how they are preparing to do this. We also know the capacity, because every week they host at least 1,000 persons in that space in social events. Friday nights we have the world famous seafood fest that takes place in the dockyard. So we know they have capacity. We see firsthand the level of upgrades taking place to structures that are 300 years old. Not only to prepare for Chogm, because the ongoing process there in the dockyard, but certainly more so for Chogm. We went to the USS Hill faculty or campuses now, of ABCAS, and we saw again, and we spoke to Dr. Green of their preparedness and their preparations. She made requests for certain support services which I'll advance tomorrow to the cabinet, and I gave assurances, because I said to her, and I've said before, the legacy of Chogm, it is something we must concern ourselves about. We're not doing it for Chogm, because every wall that is painted, every crack that is fixed, with Chogm as the driver, is a wall that is fixed and a wall that is painted for us after Chogm. You know, when large events come to town, in any city in the world, anywhere in the world, large events come to town, you have this sprucing up of amenities and facilities, this preparation of the citizens or residents, mentally and otherwise. And so it's no different here in Antigua Barbuda and the host of Chogm. We're here at AUA, which is going to be perhaps the single most important venue for all of the Chogm activities, hosting the heads of government meeting. And I feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that we can. And what gives me this sense of satisfaction? We did before. We hosted SIDS, we hosted OAS, we hosted the EU Caribbean parliamentarians Those are ones I was involved in personally. We have hosted other meetings of the Caribbean Tourism Association. And so I know we have at this venue the capacity to host. I know that the persons involved have all been involved before, and so they'll deliver again. The only ask is that we up the level of performance. And that's for Chogm. On every succeeding event, that's my ask for people, to up the level of delivery. I know, for example, that there's a training program at ABHTA, fine-tuning, that's the EAST program, fine-tuning the preparation and the skill sets of those persons who are involved in Chogm, making everybody in the hospitality industry Chogm ready. So there's a national position on this matter. And that's why I feel confident and very comfortable speaking about an all-of-country approach to us hosting Chogm. Chogm, again, fits beautifully into our national, this period renaissance. So everything just fits beautifully into what is not just an occasion of hosting the world, but where we ourselves have determined that we need to up our performance ratings, up our performance levels. And so Chogm comes at a good time, where we test some of these things we're saying. We practice on them, if you want to use that term. So we're in a good place. I want to thank the task force. I want to thank the cabinet of ministers. I want to thank the security forces. They've had 2 simulation exercises so far. There might be others. Today we have a task force meeting at which we'll discuss what next. And so, again, Antigua Barbuda, we are in a good place with respect to hosting Chogm 2026. And the invitation is for us to continue this national fervor, this national build-up, this all-of-country acceptance and promotion of this very important global event.
Excellent. So 16 venues, Minister. One of the venues is going to be hosting the opening ceremony, which is the National Performing Arts Center, which will become the National Performing Arts Center. It was the former Deluxe building, now being repurposed, refashioned, being remade into the National Performing Arts Center. Comfortable with the pace of work and that it'll be ready in time?
I will be paying a visit there tomorrow before I go to Cabinet so that I can have an informed conversation on the matter. I saw whilst away last week Minister Turner, who is leading on that project, a declaration that we are on course and that we'll deliver on time. And I have every reason to support and believe my colleague minister. I know the resources are there and I'll be made available for the work to be done. I'm hoping the elements don't interfere. That's the weather. We're now in the hurricane season. A lot of the work is internal, so even if it rains, work will continue. But again, Minister Turner is an experienced builder, and he's leading this charge on behalf of not only the government, but the country, understanding, of course, that we need to deliver to a global audience. I've never seen my people fail on the big occasions. You were not here then, but there was a very famous cricket match
Yes.
when known, reputable, respected commentators declared that we could not do it. And the spirit of V.C. Bird, the spirit of Viv Richards, the spirit of King Court, all sprang into action. And people came from every corner of this country. Some just simply bring a sandwich to someone who worked through the midnight hours. So again, I'm not saying we will come to that, but if it happens, we know what to do and we will deliver. So I'm confident in my own self as an Antigua Barbuda citizen that we understand the assignment. That's young people language, right?
Yes, understand the assignment. Let's look, Minister, in terms of the venues and the kind of economic impact that this will have, the multiplier effect, the pass-through impact of this. Because as you mentioned, whenever big events come to the country, it has some implications, some positive spin-offs for so many sectors and for so many buildings, for example, so many spaces. What can you say about that? Because quite a bit is being expended by the government on this. What about the benefits?
Well, the benefits are real, and they're not necessarily short-term. I use my experience in Olympics, FIFA World Cup, to speak to the legacy issues that follow and flow after the hosting of the events. The UK is still benefiting from its hosting of the Olympic Games in what? 2012.
Yes.
Brazil is still benefiting.
2016.
Of course, the United States is still counting at the till.
Yes.
Right? It is very fresh. In our instance, the number of visitors to a country, for example, exceed our capacity in typical hotels or traditional hotels, which means that the smaller properties are now a very integral part of this. And this will be a conversation to Cabinet tomorrow as we look at the small properties, the Airbnb properties, ensuring that they are properly incentivized. We have an issue where some ABB properties have not yet registered.
Yes.
And it is suspected that because there might be some outstanding obligations to the state. I'm recommending to the cabinet that we give a break. You know, we do it for all kinds of other reasons and times. The truth is most of the small properties were created, or a number of them were created prior to the 2007 World Cup, Cricket World Cup. And succeeding governments never really paid any attention to crafting or carving opportunities for them. I think this government's focus on hosting international meetings and conferences, it really creates, in a real way, an opportunity where we can focus on the small properties. Because a meeting coming to Antigua in the high months of tourism would certainly not find one, attractive rates, or two, space in the traditional hotel arrangement. But in the small properties, we can now work very determinedly, very deliberately with them with respect to this project. And so, for benefits, small properties. We have a number of caterers. Over 5,000 persons come to the country, they must eat. And much of their eating has to do with the organization of this meeting. And so our caterers, persons will not necessarily want to eat every day within the context of the organization or the organized meetings. They'll want to go and sample our hotels or nightlife. And so the nightlife, the entertainment industry in Antigua stands to benefit as well. And I want to make an appeal to our restaurants and our hotels to really engage some of our local talents in that whole entertainment industry in this period. You will make additional monies by way of hosting. Share the love, you know, share the love. Let us now use this opportunity to show how it really can be done, should be done, ought to be done. And so I'm encouraging not only hotels and restaurants to hire steel bands and singers, musicians, but I'm also encouraging the artists themselves to get their sets together. And in the sets, not only the repertoire, it's also the way you present yourselves. That when you get a contract or a break with a hotel or restaurant, that you also show up in a timely fashion, properly groomed. The presentation is part of the job. So this, again, fits into the renaissance that we speak of so passionately in government and across the country. Chogm is an opportunity for us to demonstrate our, if not yet arrival, or getting to this renaissance that we speak of so passionately. For benefits of taxi drivers, some of the guests are bringing their wives, or botanists or florists will also part of the deal, because a lot of men make sure that they present their wives next morning or upon arrival a lovely bouquet. So it's a myriad of benefits that will come. But long term, which is why I said this is not necessarily the short term or the immediate, it is about the branding of Antigua Barbuda, which is why my appeal is to all of us to be good ambassadors, so that the memory of Antigua Barbuda is a positive one, where persons want to come again. A lot of these delegates coming to this meeting are not only heads of state or heads of government or foreign ministers, they're also members of organizations that have their annual conferences in different destinations around the world. Hey, here comes a new destination, new location that you can give contribution to. A country where there's warmth, where there's peace, where there's security, where there's safety, and that people who are welcoming. And so the benefits are not only the immediate, it's also building on our tourism-dependent blocks to ensure that the country's image is projected into our 56 countries. And it's not just 56 countries, because when the Commonwealth comes to Antigua for its intergovernment meeting, other non-Commonwealth media houses will be coming to Antigua to follow this global event. And we're doing our best from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the wider government set up our ambassadors and everybody to promote Antigua Barbuda in this meeting, because this meeting is consequential. When you look at the global arrangements, the Commonwealth has to leave Antigua Barbuda with a statement that shows that, hey, we're not just what we were yesterday, we're now a part of today's movement going forward.
And of course, given the geopolitical flux that's happening, the theme of the conference, the theme of the summit is accelerating partnerships and investment for a prosperous Commonwealth. An extraordinary theme in light of the circumstances that the world, the economy finds itself in, what with the war in the Middle East, what with trade disruptions, what with significant volatility in the price of oil, for example, as a result of the war in the Middle East, and what is seen as an upending of the post-World War II global order. That is essentially a thing of the past that is being ripped up right in front of our eyes.
Right in front of our eyes.
Indeed.
Right in front of our eyes.
Indeed.
But notwithstanding that,
yes,
we are still insistent on multilateralism. So partnerships in that is very, very
crucial.
It's very crucial.
Absolutely. Minister, how can the Commonwealth now show itself more fit for purpose? A final question on that going forward, in terms of how can this meeting be different? You said the Commonwealth has to lead this summit in Antigua with a statement of clarity that its position is, where its position is.
Well,
how can it be more fit for purpose?
A statement of unity
yes,
among Commonwealth states or nations. A statement that projects a global focus on the times in which we live and how we move out of these challenging times into a prosperous future. And the prosperity we speak about in the theme is not just for the Commonwealth of Nations, because we're not in isolation. It begins with the Commonwealth and us trying to, coalesce values within the Commonwealth family. But it also speaks to partnerships which extend beyond the Commonwealth family into the wider global space. And so I think the leaders of the Commonwealth have an opportunity. It is challenging, but an opportunity to project the Commonwealth as fit for purpose, ready for the next decade at least, projecting the Commonwealth as a place where there's harmony, there's shared prosperity. And I want to emphasize that shared prosperity, because we can't simply be members of our organizations for the sake of being members. And so bringing this meeting to Antigua Barbuda this time is also quintessential with respect to our own national views of global events, of our own national ambitions as a member of the global family of nations.
We wish you certainly all the best, Minister, in terms of planning and preparations. We know that your ministry is at the tip of the spear, but it's a multi-ministerial, multi-departmental, it's really a statecraft effort in relation to pulling this one off. And so far, it does appear that everyone is on board.
I want to thank again, as I started, thank the task force for the continued demonstration of commitment and focus. I want to thank the Cabinet of Ministers, led by the Prime Minister, who continue to provide the support to the task force as requested or required, to all of Antigua Barbuda, because this is now become a national assignment. To all of Antigua Barbuda, I feel that sense of appreciation. As I said, I met yesterday with the opposition and the Barbuda rep. We meet other interests or organizations. There's that not only sense, there's that outward show of support for this project. I think, as I said earlier, we all understand the assignment, what it means for our country going forward. And so I welcome all the support that is given. I invite those who have not yet given serious consideration to do so with respect to the worth, the value, the benefit of this meeting coming to Antigua Barbuda. It's not just the dates of November 1 to 4. It is the dates leading up to and years thereafter where we should be enjoying the benefit of the investment we make in hosting this Commonwealth. It is an investment.
Absolutely. Minister, it is epoch-making. It promises to be game-changing, certainly historic for the country, the smallest ever to host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Thank you so much, Minister. Really appreciate it. Minister Green, we wish you all the best, because your success is the success of the entire
country.
Absolutely. It's everybody's success, right? That's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Immigration, Honorable E.P. Chent Green. His ministry is leading the effort to ensure that there can be a seamless execution of this country's hosting of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting November 1 to 4. So as we said, fewer than 75 days now remain for this country to welcome the Commonwealth. A third of the Earth's population, countries representing a third of the Earth's population, will be in Antigua for the event. It promises to be historic and epoch-making. This is a special edition of The Road to Chogm. Join us next week for another edition. Bye-bye.